Hello everyone. Welcome to Art Town podcast series or ATPS as we like to call it. Every week on Friday we feature art and design professionals who take us through their journey in this fascinating world of art. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook and Spotify, and with that let's continue with the show and dive deep into the ocean of art. Today we have with us designer, YouTuber, and an entrepreneur, Nikhil Pawar. His YouTube channel and his company both go by the name Dope Motions. It provides graphic design services that aims towards providing training tutorial and templates for motion graphics and VFX. His YouTube channel has already crossed the mark of 250,000 subscribers. I must say, if you are someone who is interested in designing, just go check out his YouTube channel and you won't regret it at all. So let us move to our conversation with this enthusiastic designer and creator who can make anyone fall for his work. Nikhil, it's our pleasure to have you today for this show. And before diving into the conversation about the dope motions and designing, virtual designing, I just want to ask you how are you and how is quarantine treating you?
I've been doing pretty great actually because of the quarantine. I just shifted my office to my home, so it's a bit messy out here. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it because I get to spend more time with my family now, and yeah, it's been pretty good, great actually.
That's really nice to hear. I hope you and your family are doing well and are safe. So, yeah. So, how did you start pursuing virtual designing? Because you have had a graduation in business administration and management, right? So, what
Yeah.
made you inclined towards virtual design?
Actually, when I just completed my second year, that is my 12th standard, I was really fascinated by superhero movies like Iron Man, Spider-Man, and I always used to think about them, like how those visual effects are created. I knew that it wasn't real. That there is some way to create those kind of cool effects. So at that moment, internet was very rare. So I couldn't figure out a way to learn those kind of techniques. But one day I was just browsing through my Facebook account. That is when I came across a video posted by one of my friends. He posted this video of a dummy gun shooting, and he added that muzzle flash effects later on in the software. So I was really amazed seeing that because in my mind I had this thought that this kind of animation can only be achieved by big studios or big companies. So I was really amazed seeing that small effect, which looked very real. So I went at his house, and that is when he introduced me to this software called After Effects. And after that, I started, playing around with the complete software, trying out different stuff, and also watching tutorials from Andrew Kramer. He was posting some amazing tutorials on YouTube for free. So it was a great resource for me to learn everything from there. So that is how my interest got built up in this visual effects and animation field that we have here. And yeah, basically that is how I got started with this.
That means movies and Marvel heroes have motivated you to do this.
Yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan.
What motivated you to start your own venture, that is Dope Motion, and not work for any established company?
It was actually very random, I'll say, because I was just posting when I just got started, I was just posting some random animations that I made in After Effects. I used to post it on Facebook, and a lot of people used to text me that how this kind of animations are done. Can you just explain me the steps? And explaining them the complete process over a text was really difficult. So what I thought was, why not I start making videos teaching people how I did this particular thing. So that is when the idea of making my own YouTube channel came, and I just like named it randomly Dope Motions because at that time I was doing b-boying, and in b-boying, whenever a guy does a very good dance move, we say that it's a dope move. So dope means
Mhm.
amazing. So that is how
Yeah.
I incorporated dope with motion, so motion for animation and motion graphics, and that is how I came up with the name. I made a channel and I just posted a tutorial, and after that I started posting tutorials whenever I was creating something new, and it started gaining followers and subscribers, and I didn't have any idea that we can really make money through YouTube or anything.
Yeah.
So after I guess I was around my 10,000 subscribers, that is when I really came to know about monetization and other different things. So I monetized my channel and I started making some revenue out of it.
Wow.
So later on, when like the channel grew up to around 50 to 60,000 subscribers, I started getting good freelancing projects. Like I was doing freelancing, but the projects weren't that big or, nothing that good of a studio I was working for. I was working for just local brands that I have in my area. So after I reached around 50, 60,000 subscribers, I got projects from clients across the globe. And that is when I decided to, make this big, like make a complete studio out of this.
Wow. So that means just a YouTube channel, and the idea to teach people through it was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole motivation behind this
yeah,
big
right,
level.
right.
Wow, that's really amazing. And can you tell us the journey of Dope Motion? Like, how many people are working for Dope Motion right now, and how did you create the team? How did you gather people along with you to work for that? And how did it reach the current position that is in? Because it has like considerable amount of subscribers right now to its YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
hmm Right. So when I was doing this kind of project, that was really difficult for me to do single-handedly. So that is when I was also actually studying at one of the design institutes. So that place I had many friends who were into motion graphics and stuff. So when I started getting bigger projects, I started to reach out to my friends for help and for design and illustrations because I wasn't that good at designing or drawing things. So that is when I started reaching to them, and that is when they started like knowing about what we do and what I do, basically the complete client thing. So we thought of why not to form a small team so we can work on as a team on a particular project. Like we all are freelancers. I have a team of around 4 to 5 people. We all are basically freelancers. We work on our own projects. But when we uh, are working on a bigger project on a high scale like company, that is when we come together. We have a small studio space, so we come together. We discuss about the project, and we start working on this one single project like a complete team. And when we are free in our own time, we work on our personal freelancing projects as well.
Okay, that's nice. By the way, Dope Motion provides a lot of services, I guess, that is in motion graphics, UI design, then even
Yeah,
graphic
right.
designing, 2D and 3D animation.
Yeah.
So, which one of that do you personally enjoy doing the most?
I personally love doing motion graphics, and I also
Mhm.
love integrating 3D animation with 2D animation. So the combination of both gives a very fascinating result. So I really enjoy integrating 2D animation with 3D by doing motion graphics.
Okay. And which among these services brings the most profit to you guys?
I think I'll say it's like a balance of graphic designing and motion graphics all together.
Okay. So, Dope Motion actually started with a YouTube channel, right? So,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So, how, like, it's a very uh, big question in front of youth right now, because there are many people who are trying to start their own YouTube channel, and they are trying to do something in the content creating, or, the tutorial videos and all. So, what do you think takes to run a successful YouTube channel? And, like, do you even now think that solely YouTube can be a primary source of income for somebody?
Yeah. To answer that, I think YouTube can definitely be a primary source of income for anyone who's just like getting started and thinking about making it like a main career focus or career oriented thing. So I think YouTube can be a great platform unless and until you are a really really what do you call it able to give or invest a particular amount of time, because YouTube is like you need to invest a lot of time because to gain the subscribers, to gain a good like a good amount of exposure in the YouTube field.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. Also, you need to be very unique, and your artwork needs to be very unique because YouTube, as you know, is very saturated with designers. There are a lot of people who are creating tutorials, design, animation. So being a little bit unique is very important these days. So yeah.
Okay. So, what are some important qualities that you think a good designer should have? And what are few things that one should keep in mind while designing anything?
So the quality I think every designer should have is a sense of typography, because in design we use text almost in every single design. So having a good sense of typography is super essential, and it can make your break out your design. So it's very very important, I think.
Okay.
And what was
And
the second question? I forgot about it.
yeah, what are the few things that you that one should keep in mind while designing?
The few things I think there are actually the basic fundamentals that I think one should consider while designing. Like for example, as I said, typography, then color theory, then the balance and anarchy, and there are a lot of small things which are the very basic, but those basic things are very important to make your design complete. So I think learning the complete basics, because nowadays people want to straight away jump into more advanced stuff, plugins and stuff like that, but learning the complete basics is the key of making a good design, I think.
Okay. And what kind of softwares do you use to design
Uh,
for you
at
for you?
present, I use, yeah, for YouTube, I use After Effects and Cinema 4D, because at present, I'm only making tutorials on After Effects, Cinema 4D, Illustrator. But when I'm working, I also like to use like Photoshop, because for my Instagram posts, I use Photoshop and Illustrator. And these are only 4, 5 softwares that I majorly use.
Okay. And I know for a fact and I appreciate it a lot that Dope Motion has been started and it has reached the position it is in right now from scratch. So, what do you think it takes to start your own company? Because you have then extended and expanded your YouTube channel, Dope Motion,
Yeah.
into actual freelancing company. So, what does it take to start one's own company, and any kind of suggestions that you want to give to the aspirants who are willing to start such kind of a company?
Yeah, so one answer would be very cliche, that it takes a lot of hard work basically, and everyone knows that. But you also need to work smart while working hard, I think, because everyone is working harder. There is some or the other one who is working harder than you. So just working hard is not enough at the moment. You also need to work very smart. You also need to take care of what people are searching for, or what people are looking for. So if you basically, as a designer, you're providing a service, so your service should fulfill your customer, I think. So knowing about the industry, doing a lot of research and practice, and at the same time, learning new things is also very important, so that you keep evolving with time.
Mhm. Yeah, very true. Uh, by the way, you must have come across a lot of people who have given you the contracts to design for them. So, and we know for a fact that people need things in a certain way. So, do you think sometimes it happens that you can't freely design something because people are expecting a certain thing from you? So, like, does it get very difficult for you guys sometimes to convince the client to convince
Yeah.
or, like,
Mhm.
preach your idea to them?
Yeah, sometimes it is, because basically we are the designers and they are the client. Sometimes the client doesn't have any idea about how design works, so we need to
Mm.
explain it. It's our job to explain them how this is gonna affect their brand, how this is gonna portray their brand to the customer. So it's our job to guide them through this, and I think yeah, definitely we get a lot of client briefs that they have like specific needs, like they want to use specific colors in their logos, they want to use specific animations, and that is when I don't think that you're gonna get constrained by those guidelines that they give. Actually, those are helpful for
Oh,
creating and animating something new, because when you're working in one particular style, you get stuck to one basic
yeah.
style, and your work starts looking very similar. So if you
Mhm.
have a guideline, if you have a constraint on you, you start exploring, you start thinking out of the box. So that is very you can take it in a positive way, I think, when you get a guideline to do anything.
Wow, that's a really different perspective to this. It's better if we give them a sense of freedom whenever they are designing something. So, but the way you told this, actually, it makes sense that whenever the client is selling something to the designer, it actually gives them a different perspective to do things. So
Yeah,
that
because
should not be a
clients have
problem with designers, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, that's because clients have a particular image of the brand in their head, and you cannot change that. So you need
Yeah,
to incorporate your design into their brand image, that what they are thinking about.
yeah. So I guess even this is a quality that designers should inculcate in them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you have any visions for Dope Motion and like where do you want to see it in future and any kind of a dream project that you have for it?
I don't know. I have never thought about it. Like I like to keep my goals very short and under my control and very you know what we call it, very realistic. So I don't really think about long-term goals, but I like to keep short-term goals. At the moment, my goal is to reach 300,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So we are around, I guess, 262,000, something like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, so at the present, my goal is to focus more on my channel, because lately I got distracted and started working more on my freelancing projects. So I wasn't able to give much time to my channel. So now I have started like incorporating more time into my channel and make that goal possible of reaching 300,000 subscribers by the end of this year.
Okay. That's a very unique thing that I heard because whoever I've interviewed up till now, each one of them has some kind of a vision for their thing. And
Yeah,
it's actually better
that's
to think of
actually
the present
yeah.
and the future, right?
Yeah,
It's
that
better to.
having a bigger vision is actually a very great, a very good thing, I think. But the issue that with me I feel is like whenever I have bigger visions,
Mhm.
I forget to focus on all the small stuff that
Yeah,
I'm
very
working
true.
on at the present. So
Yeah.
because of that, my smaller goals and my bigger goals get messed up. So I started focusing on all the small things that I'm currently working on, so that the bigger picture gets clearer while I'm working on the small stuff.
Better present is obviously going to ensure a better future, right? This is something I learned from you today. Yeah. So you must have worked on a lot of projects up till now. So any project that is closest to your heart or working for them was like really amazing and was a teaching experience for you.
I have worked for many clients, I think more than 100,
Mm-hmm.
I think. But the one animation or one project that is very close to me is a bit personal, I think, because I was in my, I guess, last year, and that is when I gifted my girlfriend a video animated with all the pictures that we have clicked, and as a present, because at that time I didn't really had much money to buy any expensive stuff. So I decided to gift a cool little animation that I made for her. So that I think is very close to me.
Oh God, that is so sweet. That is really very sweet. As I said, I know personally a lot of designers and they are freelancing, but they don't know how much to charge for their project.
Hmm.
So how do you think they should like decide what charge or what kind of money uh, they should
Hmm.
be asking to the clients because that matters a lot and that is
Yeah.
something that drives or uh, pushes the pushes away the clients. So how do you think one should charge?
I get a lot of people asking me this question, like how much should we charge so that we are
Mm-hmm.
not undercharging anyone or we are not overcharging anyone. And this is a very deep question, because even I have struggled with this question a lot, and there is no specific answer. Like I cannot tell you how much you should charge for any kind of animation that you will be making, because uh, you know it may take it may take me 10 hours to make an animation that would take you 10 minutes. So our criteria of charging someone will be different, because you just spend 10 minutes on this animation, whereas I spend 10 hours making the same animation. So it
Yeah.
depends on what value you're providing to the client. So you need to like there is a great video made by Chris Do. He's a absolutely great designer. So where he has explained in his video, he has explained how you should charge a client for a logo design, and he break it down in various different parts. So that video was really helpful for me as well in deciding how I should charge for any client. So
Yeah.
yeah, to answer this, there is no specific value. Whatever you think is, you need to consider the environment also where you're working on, the expenses that you will be spending on it. So you need to consider various different things while working on a project, I think.
Okay. So one should be very flexible while charging anything,
Yeah,
by
yeah,
keeping in mind everything about the client and about the effort that you are going to put in it, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
Okay. So designing is a very creative process, and it
Yeah.
might be possible that while designing a lot of stuff, one might get a bit monotonous with the designs, as you said earlier. So how do you keep yourself motivated to come up with something new, or put something new in that design, or come up with a new idea in for the design?
For this, I like to spend a lot of time in doing research. Whenever I am working on any kind of project, I like to spend 50% of the time doing the research, looking for inspiration, looking for references, and that is very helpful for me to expand my style, and so that I don't get stuck in one particular style. So my suggestion would be do a lot of research, take a lot of inspiration from people who are posting online, like on Behance, Dribble, Pinterest. These websites are a great source of inspiration, and amazing artists are posting their amazing artworks on this website. So that helps me a lot to refresh my mind. I also like to watch movies sometimes to just to feel relaxed and then start designing the complete project that I'm working on.
Yeah. So one should just explore and look out for ideas on anything that
Yeah,
they come up
yeah,
with. Yeah. Okay. So we know that with Indian families, they expect you to do a job in something which you are studying in, or the
yeah.
degree you have pursued. So do you did you get any resistance from your family or parents while you decided to switch your career, and not switch your career but start with the YouTube channel and uh, make it as the primary source of income for you? Because parents don't know about YouTube. Back then they must not be knowing. Right now they know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
did you get any resistance from them?
Luckily for me, everything worked out. My parents have been very supportive in whatever I have did till now. So I have been very lucky, I think, because when I was doing my bachelor's in management studies, I was after that I was going to do my MBA. But when I came across this design and stuff, I started gaining more knowledge about it and started developing my interest in this. So I had to tell my parents that I don't want to do MBA. I want to get into design and try it out. So my mom said me that I give you 1 year, try it out anything that you want,
Yeah.
and if you cannot do anything in that year, then you can switch to MBA. And I was like, yeah, that's fair enough. Maybe I'll give it a try for a year. So eventually everything worked out for me, and as you know, I never did my MBA.
Okay.
It is really nice, and I hope more and more parents give their child more time to prove themselves just the way your mom did.
Issue is because a lot of parents have this issue because the
Yeah.
reason is they don't know about this industry. They hang out with people around the same age, right? So they have a vision like this, like degrees like engineering, doctor. These are all good degrees because back then designing was not a career option. So it's our duty, I think, to explain it to them how
Yeah.
whatever that is, not only designing, marketing, or anything that you want to get in, explain it
Yeah.
what you know about it. So let them know what you know. That is when even they will start thinking about it as a career option. So it's our duty, I think, to explain them the new anything that we are work passionate about or working towards. So if we explain them properly, because that is what I did, I started explaining this design and my YouTube thing to my mom and dad,
Mhm.
and that is when they started, seeing a brighter future in that. So that can be really helpful if we try to explain our parents what it is what we are doing.
Actually, very true. And parents just want us to do well in our life, right?
Yeah, right. And I think designing, the effort we put in designing is no less than any engineering student is working on, or any doctor is pursuing his
Yeah.
MBBS. Our, our study is the same level, I think, and it's the complexity is as similar to them as well. So I think designing has a very vast future at the moment, and people are really killing it.
Awareness should be definitely spread.
Yeah.
So,
Because at the end, everyone is working for money. So money is a very, plays a big segment in whatever that we are doing in. So we need to explain that to our parents, I think.
yeah, very true. So, how do you think the design world has evolved in the last decade? Like the designs in 90s or 2000s must not be the same that they are right now in 2020. So, how do you think the trend has been? And do you inspire yourself from the designs that used to be done in 20s or in 90s, 1990s?
Yeah, I think the design in terms of 3D animation, I think it evolved a lot. Also,
Right.
UI UX design has came into place because after the launch of Android and stuff, many businesses are shifting to Android apps and websites. So even that is evolving a lot, and I see a lot of changes in the 3D animation thing because now we have much better computers to work with, much better software to work with. So yeah, it is evolving, and I think it's never going to end. Design and animation is going to keep evolving, I think.
Very true. You edit your videos for YouTube channel, and a certain standard is expected out of the videos to be that popular. So how do you maintain those standards? Do you have any kind of a setup in your room that which you use to shoot the videos or anything like that?
Yeah, basically I just use a microphone and my computer. That is all, I think. Nothing special. But I like to keep my videos very modern, and I need to make. I want to make sure that whatever that I'm gonna make is something new. Is not like the old techniques that people have already taught a number of different times. So I always like to create something that is new, that is unique. So even if it doesn't get many views, people learn something new from it. So that is my main goal, I think.
Wow, that is so good. Your main aim is to teach people and not to get the views. That is a really
Yeah,
nice thing to hear.
yeah, but to be honest, when I started, my main aim was to get the views. But right
Mhm.
now, I think like I have a number of like a complete audience that enjoy what I'm making. So now I've stopped like focusing on the numbers, and I started focusing on more on the content that I make.
And if somebody wants to like start getting into this designing field, from where should that person start?
I think the best way to start is doing a lot of research because now everyone has internet, and everyone can do a research and learn about how design is and how design works, because design is not just arranging some random colors and letters. It's much more than that. You have to study a lot of different things to being able to create some amazing design and animation. So I think knowing about how design works is very important. So doing a lot of research before you get into design is very important.
Okay, that you have mentioned a lot about doing research. So do you have any certain sources from which one should start researching?
Yeah, there are many different websites. They post amazing blogs on design, like medium.com. Dribble is a very good website to know more about designing. Behance, Pinterest. These three, four websites are the major platform, I think, where there are a number of amazing designers who are posting their work. So definitely checking them out would be worth it.
Okay. So it was really nice to talk to you. Yeah. So it was amazing talking to you, Nikhil. And do you
Thank you.
have anything to tell to the audience? Any general suggestion that you want to give them?
The only suggestion I think I can give is don't be scared, just relax, take your time, and just enjoy the process. That is it, I think.
Hope you liked our show. You can give your valuable feedback and suggestion of speakers you would like us to host next by writing us on www.artdown.store. Stay tuned to our channel as we are going to come up with brand new episodes every week on Friday. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Spotify. See you soon.